I should have installed this modification years ago because it totally changed the driving feel of my C5 Corvette in such a good way. And that modification I'm talking about is my MGW short throw shifter. Bought this thing in 2021 and just really never got around to installing it. It sat in a box in my garage, but I was busy doing other repairs and modifications to the car. But here what I'm showing is the stock shifter that I had on the car, is the stock shift box and everything from GM with this cruddy AutoZone shift knob that wasn't even threaded on, so it just kind of freely spun like that. So as you'll see when I take this shift box out, it is really not a great setup. It needed some maintenance, and so this was a great opportunity to install my aftermarket shifter. Finally got around to it. So I went with MGW because from what I've read and heard, that's the go-to short throw shifter. There's other companies out there that make, I'm sure, really good ones, but got a good deal on this 4 years ago, and so that's the one I'm going to be installing. So I'm not going to be doing a detailed every step-by-step guide on how to install this. There's many other videos on YouTube on how to do that, including videos from MGW themselves. But what I am going to do is just kind of share with you guys my experience going through and installing this, and then also the first drive after installing it and kind of giving my impressions on it. So the first step is you got to remove the center console. So this is the rear part of the center console where the armrest is, and I'm also going to be changing out this armrest because I'm not really a big fan of the red. Plus the leather was all kind of cracked and degraded, so I bought a aftermarket one, or not an aftermarket one, an OEM one off eBay, so I'll be replacing that. I'm showing here, it's kind of funny, I was talking to my coworker about this, is if you're ever curious what plastic the certain interior parts are made of, they're usually molded in. So this is a polycarbonate ABS, kind of like copolymer. So if you ever need to plastic weld something, you can figure out most of the time what plastic it is because they'll stamp it as part of the mold from the factory. So yeah, but anyways, this is the first part you got to take out. It's just 4 bolts underneath the armrest and the center console there. And you kind of like slide it out from behind. And so this is what it looks like with it off. You got to unplug the little kind of gas release button and then also the cigarette lighter. And then you can kind of leave that switch panel kind of dangling off to the side. And then the next step is to remove the remaining forward part of the center console, which is a few kind of threaded screws into those speed nuts, which are found all throughout the car. So honestly, really easy removal to get to this point. So now you got this kind of dust cover and heat shield that goes over the stock shifter, or goes around the stock shifter. I thought I'd take this time to clean up the area because definitely it was a little dirty from who knows how many years since this area was cleaned, if it ever was. I think someone definitely was in here before because I put that red armrest on, but it's been a while since that was probably cleaned and everything. So remove the little dust cover with 4 nuts that are threaded into some studs on the center console trans tunnel or torque tube tunnel. And what you can see here is it's hard to visualize, but the whole shift box was basically wobbling, and it really shouldn't be doing that. And you'll see later in the video, it's largely because the rubber bushings that attach this shift box to the trans tunnel or torque tube were completely shot. It was crazy how bad they were. So that was probably why some of the shifts felt sloppy and it didn't feel super precise. But the next step is you got to take these 4 bolts out of the top of the shift box, and that removes the shifter arm or linkage or whatever you want to call it off from the lower part of the box. Some people say that once you take these 4 bolts out, you can kind of just grab the shifter and remove it and wiggle it. Mine was a little more stuck because of this kind of rubber gasket material that separates the upper and lower part of the shifter. So I just took a real, kind of fine flat head screwdriver and didn't take a lot to remove the upper part from the lower part. So there you go. You can see the stock shifter there. And now the lower part of the shift box, that shift cup or that pivot cup that you see in the middle there, you will want to make sure you take good care of that because you are going to be reusing that, at least if you do the MGW shifter. I don't know about other shifters. And then from there, you just want to loosen these 3 bolts. They're Torx. I don't know what the size is off the top of my head since I'm doing this voiceover after the fact, but pretty easy removal, honestly. Not anything difficult. The only tricky thing here is just make sure you're careful about, as you remove those bolts, you don't want to drop those down into the torque tube tunnel, because you'll have to spend some time with a magnet tool getting those out. So here's the stock shifter with the pivot cup, and then so now you can see that's even the top of that bushing is broken with a metal sleeve, and then the lower parts of those bushings are absolutely shot and dry rotted and just squished and sandwiched. So yeah, that was probably a large part of the reason why some of the shifts didn't feel super precise and were a little bit sloppy and just didn't feel like gears were slotting in. Some people do a shifter alignment with the stock shifter, and that helps. But in this case, I just wanted to retrofit to an aftermarket shift box. So like I said, you're going to reuse this pivot cup, so you just got to take these 2 screws out of the housing. It's a cast housing on the stock shifter box, and then you just slide that pivot cup out of there. And then part of the, I use the MGW install video series on doing this, and the one thing they, stress and reiterate is that you really want to clean and make sure there are no burrs or score marks on that pivot cup and the linkages, because then that'll tear up the bushings on your new shifter. So you can use some really fine steel wool, or just in my case, I didn't have to. I just cleaned it up with a microfiber towel. So then the next step, this is kind of honestly some of the more there are 2 kind of tricky parts of this job. And the first one, and this is what I'm showing here, is I thought you're going to have to reuse this little piece, so don't lose it, but then you end up not reusing this, so don't worry about it. But the first kind of trickier part of this job was installing the heat shielding. So MGW gives you a series of heat shield and kind of, I think, sound deadener, it's some foam, to install around the torque tube and trans tunnel in the area of the shifter, just to eliminate heat and vibrations, or help reduce heat. Really not so vibrations, because these are hard mounted to the trans tunnel. It's more so heat and I think noise, just road noise. And so it was a little bit challenging just to get the sticky Dynamat and foam pads in the correct places, without sticking all over the places you don't want them to be, because they do stress that you don't want to stick it in an area where it would interfere with the shifter when you install it. So that was a little bit tricky. But now what I'm doing is I'm actually installing the stock pivot cup into the MGW shift box, and if you're a keen eye viewer, I installed this upside down, because I thought for some reason I thought the bronze or yellowish part of the shift box went up, but that's totally not the case, so I installed it upside down. So I'll be taking it out, what you can see here, flipping it around. Basically you want the black part of the MGW shifter facing up. So just like that, exactly, because it can only go in one way, because it's, obviously has to face the driver's side. So once I got that in, I reapplied some blue Loctite, so that if you do need to remove this, you can. Do not use red. And then I made sure I liberally applied some grease so that the pivot cup slid forward and backwards easily just by gravity alone in the bushings in the new shifter. So now I'm putting the lower part of the box into the car. They say to install the screw for the linkage first and get it mostly tight, and then you get the other 2 screws or bolts started. But you don't want to lock it down just yet, because then you're going to install the alignment tool, which is that little aluminum piece with the stud sticking off. So once you get that in, then you can tighten down the main 2 mounting screws for the lower shift box. So then you put on this little rubber separator gasket, which I think is for vibration dampening, is my guess, and then you install the upper part of the shifter assembly on top of that, and then that threads into the lower box with 4 hex socket head cap screws. And then they always say to use the provided hex tool when you're installing the shift box and shift knob, because that way you don't over torque these small socket head cap screws. I think they're only 1/4 20, so you don't need a lot of torque to install these. So don't use the standard socket, use the T-handle hex that they provide with the kit. So then starts the next tricky part of the install. So then you have to take an X-Acto knife, start with a really sharp one, and cut part of this dust cover off so that you can fit it around the MGW shifter assembly. And then I didn't film it just because it was kind of annoying, and you know, it just didn't really show a lot, but you have to basically stretch that rubber of the dust cover around the kind of bellowed rubber of the shifter assembly itself so that it sits nicely over the shifter, and you know, there aren't any gaps where heat and noise can come through. So now I got the center console back on. Like I said, guys, this isn't a detailed step-by-step how-to video. Just wanted to keep it somewhat brief. But I got the shifter back on, and then got the threaded part of the shift knob installed in the car. So now I'm going to jump into the first test drive with the new shifter assembly. And cool kind of little, if you made it to this part of the video, a little sneak peek is I am starting now to design and 3D print shift knobs that I'll have an assortment for sale on my Etsy store. So if you guys are interested in some custom shift knobs, I've got a really cool kind of like fighter jet joystick style shift knob that I'll be releasing here soon. So I'm also kind of proving out that design a little bit during this test drive, and I already made a few modifications, like making it taller and things like that. So I'm going to be quiet for a few more minutes here and let you guys enjoy the noise of my test drive with this new shifter install. Alright guys, well I hope you enjoyed that video. I hope you enjoyed a little bit of the test drive. I just kind of oriented the camera so it focused mainly on just kind of showing the shifter, but hopefully you enjoyed some of the sounds of me driving with the Corvette. Definitely will be doing more driving videos to come here, especially during the hot, sunny, fun summer months to come. So thank you guys again so much for watching. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button for more videos to come, including staying tuned with all of the cool 3D printed products that I got coming down the pipe, with all those shift knobs coming too. So thanks again guys for watching. I appreciate your support on the channel, and other than that, I'll see you guys in the next one.